Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? It's me, your friendly neighborhood Stately, and this is City Skylines, so that can only mean one thing. Welcome to the fair town of good intentions, where the intentions are generally better than the execution. We're looking at Nixon's Folly, our industrial area, and Stately Estate, our high-value residential area, and this is where we're going to be working today. I plan to take this cluster of high-density housing, spread it out a little bit, come up with a nice road outline here, maybe put in some kind of monument, and we'll make this waterside area nice. And then over here I want to work on these power plants. I think this needs some attention because it's just 5 power plants in a row. Before I do any of that, however, I want to try something out that a viewer recommended. I built this little bypass here because most of the traffic here was ending up here. And looking at it now, I'm not even sure that it's still necessary, but since a lot of traffic was ignoring the bypass and just using the roundabout anyway, I'm going to try to raise the speeds here. That's slower. Let's go for, say, 60. And I don't know, that bit in the middle is 100. I don't know if that's a big deal. Oh, that's my metro. Okay, that makes more sense. And then we're going to take the roundabout itself and lower it to 40. We're going to see if that helps clear traffic up and if it motivates more people to use the bypass. We'll check in later, see if it works, but in the meantime, thank you for that tip, Sasha. We'll see how it goes. All right, let's get started on tonight's main course, if you will. Let's start with Stately Estate here, and as you can see, I just kind of zoned the whole thing high-density residential. That was perhaps not the best idea I've ever had. I mean, we got the population up pretty quickly, but it looks dreadful. So I'm thinking something like this. I think maybe we'll get rid of this as well. Oh, you can just drag your mouse along. I did not know that. Okay, now, if we move these, we can clear up a little bit of space. And I think we absolutely can do that, because we've got plenty of empty space here. Only thing is, I kind of don't want to do too much here because power plant, but let's just kind of put this there. And then the big one, honestly, I think we'll demolish the big one and replace it with another small one because this has been luxury goods storage and I just don't have enough luxury goods to justify having a big warehouse like that. So let's grab another small one and we'll put it here. That also adds a little bit of variety to this area. Okay, sure. Stored resources are unique factory products. There's a lot of different products you can warehouse here. I'm not entirely sure how that works, but maybe we'll experiment with that one of these days. Okay, so now we have more space to work with here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this, and I guess the zoning there is fine. Let's go ahead and do some dezoning. And, okay, now let's line this out. What I'd like to do here is build this around a monument. That is to say, a unique building, because as you can see, I don't have access to the monuments yet. Let's see what we've got. I'm going for a modern look here. A big old plaza. Yeah, not that impressive. What have we got here? The Bird and Bee Haven's not really an appropriate spot for it, is it? Oh, and a bus stop. I don't know what the line of reasoning is with putting those things in with the monuments. I guess there's just not a good field for a bus stop. Posh mall. I don't know. It's a residential area, so slapping shopping in the middle of it might not be the best idea ever. These are for a future episode, by the way. They're sections for a modular shopping mall. You know, a good old-fashioned 1980s style Hot Topic and California Pizza kitchen place. This is also a mall, isn't it? City Park, no. And an IKEA. Opera House, eh. Yet another mall. What do we got here? The Science Center. Servicing Services Office. That one's actually pretty cheap. I might put it in a high-density area somewhere. How about an Expo Center? Aquarium. Oh, I like that. We can put an aquarium on the water side here. It's pretty big, though. But I think that might work. Oh, check it out. The Ziggurat Garden. It's $1,440 a week. I can easily afford that. Yeah, we'll put the Ziggurat Garden at the water side. That'll be awesome. All right, so great. We know what we're going to do. Now we just need to decide how to do it. Now we're going to start off with rampant destruction. These guys are like happy their road was demolished. Yay, we can't get to our houses anymore. Thank you, Mayor Stately. Okay, so let's see. We shall start with some space down here. I think we'll run a coastal road up here, and then up here maybe we'll just put a little kink in and move it up here, or maybe we'll get rid of that road section and put in a new one. That means we have to get rid of this too. See, they like not having roads in front of their houses. Oh, you Sims aren't very smart, aren't you? Let's see. Okay, I think we're going to update this to a 4-lane. Can I do that without demolishing anything? Is it the same width? It would appear... Oh, it is the same width, but the road in front of the harbor itself is included in the harbor building, so I can't really do anything with that. That's unfortunate. We might have to work around it a little bit. But let's go ahead and turn off all of the snapping for one. Like that. Okay, we'll keep the angle snapping on, fine. And go right to the end here. We'll go all the way over here to right about there. And then we need to... turn on anarchy. Oh, don't do that. That'll work just fine. Now, just adjust the nodes a tiny bit. Oh, there's no adjusting to be done. There's always going to be a little bit of grass. Is that because the height is not quite right? Let's take a look here. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. If we raise this a little bit, look at that. Smooth it all out just a tad. And raise the water side to match. Tiny little sections here. That looks just about perfect. Great, okay. So this is clean, straightforward. We'll go ahead and reconnect this road. I don't want to redo every single thing here. Turn the anarchy back off. I like to keep it off when it's not needed. Is that going to demolish those buildings? It is not, but they are unhappy that they now have... did that dezone these things? No, it's fine. It's all good. All right, so the ziggurat, let's put it down and then move it, because we need to be able to align the roads right around it, and the easiest way to do that is to just have it there. So it'll be right about at the middle. I think here. Does that look about right? We're going to move it inwards so that there's grass in front of it, but for the sake of putting the roads down, this definitely helps. Let's have some nice roads leading up to it on either side. This is a bit of an issue. It's not too bad. We can do that. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to move it backwards to, let's say, here. Oh, come on, seriously? No, we're good. It was just being a little stubborn. And that gives us some nice grassland here with a nice view of the water. So we'll parkify that a little bit, and that'll look lovely. Along the sides here, I think we'll go for high density commercial. Say from here down to the corner, and from here down to the corner. And then we'll put in some connecting roads, and we'll use the grassy roads for this. I realize that I'm not doing a great job with any of the parking solutions. We're probably going to have to come up with a garage or some lots or something to make sure that people can park here. Why do you do this to me? I delete this, and then put it back. I guess it's not perfectly flat. That always kind of bothers me. Okay, fine. We'll dezone the corner. It's no big deal. I can remember where the zoning tool is. Oh, it's been a few days since I've played. I generally record the episodes in advance, and I had to record like close to a week in advance, so maybe a little rusty. All right. So this is, I think we'll leave that for now. We'll decide what to do with it later. Back here, we're going for lower density here, and what I think we'll do is we'll put down some standard roads right about here to, say, here, and we'll do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll put the residences up against that road. So high density commercial, this is, oh, it's only 3 by 3. That's fine. We'll do 3 by 3, 3 by 3, 3 by 3. I'm kind of working outside towards the middle in the hope that it'll all match up. It kind of does. We're going to end up with 2 towers right next to each other in the middle. I have no problem with that. I've lost an awful lot of roads. I'm replacing quite a lot of high-density residential with not many high-density residential at all here. All right, let's get it watered up, and then we can turn the simulation back on while we do the rest. Alrighty. So, good. Look at all those poor people who just lost their houses. They're like despondent. Okay, so on the other side of this, we have these high density residentials here, and I think this area here will do a combination of commercial and offices. Maybe not too many offices though, because this is a high-tech zone, and that means that all of those offices are going to end up being extremely large buildings. Also, my income went from like 18,000 a month to minus a gazillion. That was a costly setup. This is what I mean. We're going to get giant buildings here. And I'm not even sure I want buildings that big right behind these residences. Let's let it run and see how it looks. And meanwhile, we'll put some slightly smaller high-density commercial buildings here. And again, I'm trying to space them out so that this place looks a little more planned. Maybe we can put a park in the middle there. All right, and then on this side, we can do kind of the same thing. All right, academic report. Apparently everybody's learned to sew. Nothing too interesting going on there today. And I think this right here would probably be a good place for a parking garage for both the residences and the commercial and office areas here. So let's see what we've got. We've got the standard parking garage and the medium parking garage. And neither of them fit here. Okay, what about here? Yeah, that's workable, right? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And then we'll kind of backfill this with some... Well, let's mix and match a little bit. We'll take a large office building here and here, and then we'll do some lower density commercial, although I'm thinking it could still be high density commercial here. We'll put low density commercial on the corners like that. And that actually allows us to put in a tiny little alley here. No, it doesn't, because that has to be too wide. So we'll just let that be for now. Okay, and then over here, I'm thinking what we'll do is we'll run a line from right about here to right about here. And then from right about here to right about there. Then we'll go around. The idea here is to create more zonable space. And again, have it be kind of attractive, because we can put something in the middle. It's not quite centered. I guess it doesn't have to be quite centered. All right. That seems pretty credible. We'll put a tower here and a tower here, here. This is, these corners are problematic again. Maybe we'll do smaller ones. No? Really? Why you gotta be like this, game? Just going for a degree of symmetry. It doesn't have to be perfect, though. Something like that. And then we'll put some low density commercial up front here. I'm doing low density because, well, because it won't block the view of all of these taller buildings in the back. I'm using a new microphone today. I'm hoping that it'll do something about the keyboard clicking. I've been using a Yeti standard desktop microphone, and the audio quality is great, but it picks up every single keyboard noise. Now I have a headset mic, and I get the impression that it doesn't sound quite as good, but I'll take it just because less noise. Also, I'm recovering from a cold here, so if I sound a little rough, that's why. Let's go ahead and let these areas fill in. Those gaps don't serve much purpose. All right, it's coming along. This would be a good place for a couple of office buildings, I think. Maybe just one, like that. Some low-density commercial around it. Fill in these corners. And we can do the same here. We can go all the way down here. Although maybe we should have a park or something in the middle. Just having that one cool monument isn't going to please everybody. So if we put like a playground here, then we can connect it with walking paths. This one doesn't really have connections, does it? Maybe a different one. Let's see what we have that does have connections. Yes, and everybody's going to be sad because their park went away. Here, we'll do the large playground instead. That's a little too big to squeeze in there, isn't it? Did I pause the simulation again somehow? I guess I did. Okay, over here we're getting closer to the industrial area. I think what we'll do is we'll run just a straight line there. And again, there's a couple of zonable areas missing here because the terrain isn't perfect. I'm going to go with it is what it is on that one. Are there 3x4s, or am I just going to get 2x3s if I do this? Like that, and more high-density commercial back here. How's it filling in? It's definitely filling in, and it looks like, you know, urban mixed-use area, so that's good so far. This area here, kind of an industrial area already, so I don't know if we need to worry about pollution. Let's take a quick look and see if there's audio pollution. There is a fair amount here. I'm not quite sure people would like living there. So we'll do commercial here. It's very much a mixed zone here. I don't know if I need to do this in block sections. We can just do this. Okay, now I still want a big park, and I'm wondering if we can put another park or a monument or something here in front of the giant ziggurat. So let's see what's available. Not a large playground. Not a small playground. This is actually too big. It's larger than I thought. And that just doesn't quite match up. I hate it when things are just a little off kilter like that. Oh, here's what we can put down here. We can put down a meditation garden. Ah, shoot. That would have been nice if it fit in the middle there. What else have we got? Little tropical garden. Same problem. It's too big. And a bunch of third-party stuff, none of which seems especially appropriate. And there goes the weather. Every day, every session, we have to turn the weather off again. Don't know why. Such is just the way of things. I like this. I don't think I want it here, though. Let's put it up here. That's good. But that still leaves us with this area. Shall we make it into like a park manually? Let's look through our unique buildings and see if we have anything that'll complement it. Something like the Lazarus Plaza. And again, it's the wrong width. That bugs the bejesus out of me. Which one is this? Plaza of the Dead. That's a little bit morbid. Okay, well that's the really cheap ones. Tourism and leisure. Fantastic fountain. Doesn't fit. I mean, it fits. It just has an incompatible width. Oh, this guy, that would be perfect. Got to build 2 airports to get the London Eye. Hypermarket, not that interesting. Winter Market, too big. Not sure how that'll look in this city. Tripex launch site is pretty much a definite no. Oriental Pearl Tower, no, that's just silly. Temple Complex, Traffic Park. I'm not seeing much that I really like here, except maybe that Fountain of the Dead. Official Park. Okay. We'll work around that. That's nice, actually. I like that. And by work around, I'm not actually quite sure what I'm going to do here. I think maybe we'll fill it in, and then we'll put some grass on top of it or something. Slightly too large a brush here. There we go. But that's looking good. It needs detailing, obviously, and we'll detail it. Let's have a look here and see if this is really what we want. I think we'll increase the density here as well as we can. And then this central area, again, I'd like to get some kind of small park. I don't know if there's anything that's like legitimately small enough to go in there. This is, oh, so close. Well, definitely not that. It's just like an inch too small. And it's off center. Maybe I should not worry about the whole off center thing, but it absolutely bugs me. So, what else have we got? Yes, another exciting episode of Stately agonizing about which park to place. Aren't you glad you decided to spend your valuable YouTube time with me today? Oh, okay. All right. I can see that looking good. It's kind of a inanimate thing, isn't it? Ah, but that's okay. All right, and we'll put the gravel around it for a bit of variety. Like so. Again, in need of some detailing, but this is definitely coming along nicely already. Let's go ahead and plop down some trees here, and we'll go for just a nice line right here. Lovely. And over here, I think we need different trees here, something more decorative. Maybe these guys. I'll put a row over here. Oh, so close. Let's see if we can stretch it out just a tad. Get 4 of them in. There we go. Just a tiny bit too close to the edge there. There we go, just like that. And maybe some benches and stuff later on. This is kind of a bigger problem because the park doesn't really match up with the rest of the land here. And I'm not even sure I really like this park here, frankly. But here's what we'll do. We'll put in a walkway to kind of divide it better. And do we have a walkway that matches these tiles? Wouldn't that be nice? Not only do we not have a walkway that matches these tiles, I don't think we even have a walkway that complements these tiles. That's obviously boring. That's the same, really? Is this because of this? Yeah, it is. Shoot. Okay. It's alright, we're working on it. It's being worked on. That's not the trail I want, but I do want the trail to be visible, so... Is this a thing that I can do something with? That's better. We do have 3 different types of textures here, and I get that that's not the best thing in the world. But it's also not the worst. And I think we can kind of just complement this with some trees, and I don't know if we want to try to stuff anything else in here. It's already pretty full. It's probably best to not go overboard with any of that. Same trees? No, they're kind of unique. I don't think we need to reuse them a bunch of times in a bunch of different places. But what do we have? Something that looks a bit more like a native tree. Those are huge. Is that a bad thing, though? Kind of gives a sense of privacy to the park, maybe. Well, this is coming along reasonably well. I haven't done anything here yet, so I think we'll go for the high-density residential again. We got plenty of room for some large towers here. Go with 4x3s, tightly spaced, and it'll fit in beautifully. And yeah, this is definitely an improvement, isn't it? These commercial zones here are a little iffy. We get this a lot. They just have trouble finding enough employees because they're way out in a corner and they're like officially the least attractive building here. Fill in the industrial just a little bit, and then this area here. Well, what shall we do with this area here? Shall we leave it open for future development? It's tempting. But we kind of have a lot of area that looks like it's been left open for future development, don't we? Let's see what we can do about that. Decrease the brush size a little bit and start filling some of these areas in here. Don't need to go overboard. We don't need to pave the entire world. But it's always a little weird when you have these little strips of barren land or grass between your buildings. I like to make them go away. Honestly, a block like this, I wouldn't expect much green at all, I suppose. So let's just kind of fill this whole thing in. Let's see. So we have this area here. Should be good for offices. We'll just put a couple down. And same thing over here. A couple big offices should look just fine and dandy there. What do you guys think? That's kind of nice, right? I'm fairly pleased with this. Apparently we need a police station around here. Let's take a look. We have one over there. That shouldn't be an issue. And these guys are very unhappy about the noise levels. Let's take another look here and see if we need to rethink this. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I can see why they're unhappy. Well, you know what, guys? I can solve your problem for you right now. Now let's see if we can do a small roadside parking lot here. Contrary to public opinion, I do actually have a couple of just simple parking lots. I just can't find them. What is this? Hypermarket? How does hypermarket have the word parking in it? Oh, that doesn't help much. Or does it? Let's take a look. If we run a road from here to... we can't. Alright, in that case, I'm just going to de-zone this area and we'll leave it fallow for now. We can come up with something else to put in it eventually. Dum, dum, dum. It's gone. Let's gravel this up. I'm starting to like the gravel a lot because it does allow for some terrain variety. Don't have a whole lot of choices with terrain unless you want to start tiling things, and honestly, that way madness lies, so I try to avoid it. And I don't think these areas should be zoned at all, not with that park there. I'm thinking I probably zoned it and then put the park down and didn't realize that those areas would not get de-zoned. And same goes for this little guy. Nothing personal, I'm sure you were very profitable, but not going to fly. Okay, looking pretty good. What shall we put here? Bit of high density commercial. We'll do a 3x3 there. I think this is good for now. It definitely looks better. It's got some variety to it. Yeah, I accidentally zoned this low density, didn't I? Let's go ahead and update that. This is obviously not a good place for low density residential, although those are nice houses. Alright, that should replace itself soon enough. Next thing I want to look at today is our power plants here. Let's go ahead and temporarily move all of these. We'll just slap them down over here so that we don't have to stop the simulation or worry about people having to do without power. These things are 5 blocks deep by 6 blocks wide. And what I'm thinking is that we can... Well, we've already fenced this area off. I'm actually gonna have to get rid of a few fences here. We'll leave the fences at the back because that's going to remain inaccessible. Let's go ahead and gravel up the bits that I didn't gravel up before. That'll just make it easier later. Like that. And what I think we'll do is we'll put in a small service road. Maybe something like a 2-lane alley. Go in like this. We'll go off to both sides. Before I go too far here, I'm going to make sure that things properly fit. Yeah, that's pretty much what I had in mind right there. So that'll work. Just need to make sure I have enough road. And the plan here would be to just go out as far as I reasonably can, which is a little farther on this side. Right up to here. That's good. Now let's move these guys back and we'll just start right on the end on both sides. Now we have 3 more to place. If we put 3 blocks between them, that's not going to work, so we'll put 2 between them. And this one goes right smack dab in the middle. That already looks better, but we're not done yet. Oh my, no. Let's see, let's get that fence sorted. And which fence am I using? This would appear to be like a security fence. It's not the amusement park fence. It looks like it, but it's darker. Wrought iron security fence. I think this is the guy. Go all the way down to here and turn all the frickin' snapping off. Go like that. And like that. That's pretty credible already. Let's see what we have in the way of like a gatehouse or something that we can use. Security. I'm going to call security. No, random security door. That's not what I'm looking for. Wait. Security booth. Why did that not show up? Hello, can I please? This is odd. My prop size display has disappeared. There we go, brush size 1. And let's go back and try that security outpost again. Oh, that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Let's turn on the prop and tree anarchy. Ah, that light. Can we put it the other way? Just have it be right about there. I guess that would be okay, right? Lovely. Let's see, that fence isn't a problem. We'll take this fence here and we'll finagle it a little bit. First of all, let's move this end out to right about here. Good. And now we'll just put down a second section from here to here. Look how nice that looks. Ah, man, proportions. There are so many things wrong with proportions in this game. The security building is absolutely huge. But I don't really have anything better. Okay, and I think now we want some clutter, and one good source of clutter in industrial areas is just putting down the occasional 1x1 or even 1x2, although I'm not sure that's going to fit here. But generally you get like oil tanks and things like that, and those look pretty good. This is already a major improvement, but the next step is I downloaded and installed a couple of electric substations. And these guys, I haven't tried them yet. These guys actually look like they're the same thing. But I'd like to have at least one of these here. And I think we're going to have to put down some roads around it again. So we'll go back to those little two-way alleys and we'll run one from, let me get my grid on, there to there. And then we'll go ahead and grab that substation. So what's the difference here? I got the power substation MG, And I got the power substation V3. I don't know. But power substation. That seems like an appropriate thing to have near a power plant, doesn't it? Now I need to see if we can do anything credible with power lines to make this all look a little more realistic. I can't put them down here. But the fence might be a problem. Yeah, the fence is definitely a problem. I can't, like, squeeze them in between these things. And prop and tree anarchy doesn't work with power lines. So let's see if I have any manual power lines I can place. No, it's just the standard power line. Well, at the very least, we need something connecting the substation, right? That should be, even if it's just something as simple as this, I guess. And that is pretty darn simple, to be honest. And we kind of want power lines going out, but I don't know where to. So maybe we'll just, like, connect them to our windmill park. Then we'll run one more from here straight. Can I do that? Why are you being like this? Looks like that might be all the power lines I'm getting. That's not bad, though. At least we have the impression of power lines. I guess that's the best we can hope for under the circumstances. I don't mind this headset, but it's getting a little uncomfortable. What do we got going on here? I don't know what these buildings are. It's not what I expected. What are these supposed to be? Looks like, well, whatever it is, it seems more or less appropriate here. All right, let's get some fencing going here, and we'll use the same fence again. Oh, look, it already comes with some fencing. Just not much, but we can hook up to that. That'll work just fine. We'll go over to here. Up to here. Back over to here. And oh look, there's a boulder in the middle of the road. Figures. Let's go ahead and bulldoze that. That's not a good place for a boulder. This is also not a good place for a boulder. And I think I have to move this out a little, because otherwise I'm going to get distance too short. It's two different fences, but, you know, life's too short to worry about the tiny details like that. There we go. Okay. Do we have some clutter we can put down? I'd like some kind of maintenance shack, but an outhouse. That's funny. I mean, a porta potty might be appropriate, but an outhouse, not so much. What do we have here? High-level doghouse. I thought I had some maintenance buildings. That's what I'm looking for right now. But, I mean, just looking for a house, I'm going to find 200,000 different things, obviously. Might take me a few minutes to get there, so bear with me while we take a tour of all of the buildings that I don't use. Would like to do a European city someday, because these European building styles are unique. And I like the way they look. What are these? Or industry worker marker. Oh, I wonder if that spawns like decorative workers. What is all of this? Dust marker. How am I getting that for searching for work? Taxi depot, not that exciting. Well, I'm not finding what I'm looking for here. But we can at least slap down some clutter, right? A dirty mattress, some trash. What else? Dirt. A couple piles of dirt here and there. Wonder if we have any shopping carts. We do! Excellent. Yep, it's really that kind of neighborhood. Abandoned shopping carts along the road. Don't have any junk. Do we have any kind of power delivery buildings, like small ones? What is this? Ocean Thermal Energy Conversion Plant. Not what we're looking for. So, that's definitely an improvement. I feel like I need some rubble or something. Rubber boat. A decorative rubber boat. That's not really what the image is. I'm going to have to take your word for that one. Clutter. There's no clutter. We do have some of these, but I don't know how they're going to look. They're invisible, basically. Okay, so that's a waste of time. Do we have any weeds? No. No. What about some dead trees? Something like this looks... I gotta be more careful with this. If you put the brush strength to 1 when you do that, you actually end up with 6 or 7 trees at a time instead of just the one. No interesting shrubs. I got hedges, but no shrubs. Okay, I think maybe we'll put some parking in here to kind of liven this area up, and I think then we're in pretty good shape. I kind of like the way this turned out. It's definitely an improvement. So let's go ahead and put in some parking. I said parking. We'll do just a simple line from no snap from the middle here with anarchy on, I guess. The middle, I think this is not 100% right angles. We don't care. Yeah, that's just fine. 4x2 is going to fit, but an 8x2 never does, unless it does. Sometimes you just get lazy and decide to slap down the parking lot where you found it. Alright, let's see. There we go. Alright, that's actually a perfect place for a parking lot. It fits in nicely. So, not a bad day, right? We got our new cool residential neighborhood going here. Still need some work. We need to fill in some of these gaps, put down some trees. But we can do that. Let's grab some appropriate trees. Just kind of brush it up. Get it? Because brush. Maybe even here. Over here. Over here. We're not really getting anything. Now we'll put just a couple of bigger trees in here. Not there. That's better. Okay, now we have some ground vegetation. Like around the base of the trees, it's always nice to put a bit of vegetation down. Makes it look a little less like they're just isolated trees that were plopped down. Of course, they are isolated trees that were plopped down, but that's not the point. And there we go. Cool. All right, so we might work a little bit more on this tomorrow, maybe get started on our Central Park area here, but for today, that's going to have to do it. So on behalf of everybody here at Stately Corp, we'd like to thank you for watching. Please do tune in next time for the exciting sequel. All right, folks, take it easy. See you next time.